This heat race had more action than most super finals. But first, some quick context. 1. I had a very bad qualifying down in P7. 2. I somehow had an even worse race 1, where I finished down in P6. 3. All of us regulars, yes, all of us, not just me, got yelled at for yellow flag infringements.
Drivers, if you speed under yellows, you're getting flagged.
So, starting race 2, I was out of position, with a fire lit under me and a desperate need to move up. As we can see, I use all of my talent to get a bang average start. My racing driver intuition screams at me to dive to the inside. Despite Liam's best attempt to cover it off, I managed to put a wheel through the grass and get alongside coming into turn 2, where my intuition is proven correct, with my future tag teammate, Ben, going to meet barrier. This has put me in P3 after 2 turns. That's 1.5 positions gained a corner, and at this rate I'll be positioned negative 126 by the end of the race. However, my master plan quickly got ruined, as through turn 3 I get a huge bump from Liam, which sent me a little bit off the line I wanted to take. This let Liam get side by side with me through the S's, where we both take it absolutely perfectly, racing hard but fair, and into the final left-hander, I have the inside and secure 3rd place. After I get another light bump on the exit to help my exit speed, I rapidly catch the leaders through the last sector, and I'm back on their tail through turn 2. I follow Lochie, and I pretend to follow him into turn 3, before I send a last-minute dive bomb up the inside. I, however, have carried way too much speed, and have a huge snap on exit, but I just barely hold on to it. I'm now 2nd, and not too far off the leader. I follow him for a few more corners and quickly realize I'm quicker, I'm faster, and I'm better. So, going into turn 1, I try to go around the outside, setting up a switchback, but Ryan manages to keep it clean. I follow him for a few more corners, where going to the back hairpin, I see the thing I definitely did not want to see. Liam setting up an overtake on me, the inside. I now have a choice. Either I move to cover the inside and protect my position against Liam, or I can ignore Liam, take the risk, and go around the outside trying to carry the speed and challenge for the lead of this race. And with nothing to lose, what do you think I chose? So I take this wider line, I carry the speed, and Liam gets ahead of me for a tiny bit, but my exit kicks in. I easily blast back past him and I'm gaining on the leader. I set up a switchback through turn 6 and I get alongside into the quickest corner of the track, turn 7. This corner is usually a lift at the best of times, but with him on the inside I had to take a risk. So I keep my foot pinned and I go around the outside of the quickest corner of the track, taking the lead of the race. I'm now first from P6 on the grid. But the race is far from over, as I now have 2 very quick drivers I need to defend from. The next lap I make my job even harder by misjudging my entry into turn 3 and running wide, inviting Ryan to go side by side with me through the S's, where just like Liam, we race hard but fair, and I managed to hold him off. The next lap I have a snap and a half going through the last corner, but I'm saved by Liam defending his 2nd he just gained. Another snap through the last corner, which is on the very next lap might I add, sets me offline. And midway down the straight, I look back and see something terrible. Liam on my rear bumper, moving towards my inside. Too late for me to cover it off. I try to hold it around the outside, but this turns out to be a huge mistake, as Ben also manages to switch back me. I try to keep the position through turn 2, but I carry way too much speed, and this allows Ben to get the up and under on me. In 2 corners, I've lost 2 positions, but I still believe. Despite the gap they're pulling on me, Ben starts to challenge Liam for the lead, and when they battle, they lose time. But coming into turn 7, he gets clipped by some lap traffic. He goes wide and I dive to the inside. This is my chance to regain the position. Nope, never mind, it actually goes yellow. So I have to back out, you know how. I follow him for the next lap, finding out where he's strong and where I'm weak. At the end of the lap, a yellow flag bunches us back up, and it ends up going green at the exit of turn 1. I have a slightly bad restart, but it's nothing too major, and with Ben and Liam battling through the last corner, I'm able to stay onto them. Into turn 1, Ben tries to switch back on Liam, but he can't secure the move and Liam is able to get back past him. This is the closest I've ever been, so I reuse the move I did at the start and take the position back off Ben with a dive up the inside of turn 2. I'm back in a second now, with Ben right on my bumper. I cover the inside into turn 3 and I manage to eke out a tiny gap, which just gives me enough room not to defend the following corners. I get a better run than Liam in the back hairpin, and I start gaining. The belief that I can win this race is coming back to me. We both have moments through the last 2 corners, but my moment isn't as bad as his, so I can still close up. He goes to cover the inside but realizes I'm too far back, so he retakes the racing line. I linger on the inside a little bit longer, hoping he'll look back and see my fake dive bomb, but he doesn't end up looking back. So last minute I dive back to the racing line and just take the corner normally. I've still gained a fair chunk of him through this corner, but because of my fake dive bomb, I look back and I see Ben is still right on my bumper. I can't go for any crazy moves because then I'll lose P2 to Ben. I follow him for a bit more before sending another fake dive bomb into turn 3 that Liam ignores. This is the second time in 2 weeks I've sent this move. The other person has ignored it and I've lost a ton of time. However, once again I get a better exit from the back hairpin, and with Liam veering left and right to try and pass lap traffic, the gap is starting to close up again. However, the lap traffic is now in between me and Liam, and he's starting to retake the racing line trying to take the corner. Last second, I dive into the gap that's still there, and thankfully he backs out and lets me through. This allows me to gain a ton of time on Liam, and has actually given me a huge gap to Ben behind as well, as Ben wasn't able to follow me through the lap traffic. But my chance of challenging for this lead disappears completely when I miss my braking zone and dove way too deep into turn 1. This ruins my run and gives him a huge gap to work with. I lose even more time through turn 3 by apexing way too early. But again, I absolutely hook up the final hairpin, which is usually my weakest corner, and I get a great run behind the lap traffic. I say to the lap traffic, hello, just letting him know I'm here so he doesn't try and squeeze me out. But mid-move it goes yellow, and I have to back out and tuck in behind. The lap traffic must have been feeling bad for this though, as he then spins out in solidarity. It doesn't end up mattering, as the yellow continues all the way to the line, where I actually found out that that was the very last lap of the race. And it's now over. Liam with the win, and me with another P2. And to make the bad night even worse, Ryan down in P4 means I did not make Super Final. And my night ended here, with a lot of highs and a lot of lows. Ready to recoup and fight for the win again next week.